So I want to give you a quick tour of Ice Cream Sandwich. As Eric said, it's the 4th generation of the Android platform. And I'm going to do it on this device. This is the Samsung Galaxy Nexus smartphone. It's the first Android that runs Ice Cream Sandwich. Thank you very much. And it's available in the UK, and it'll be available throughout the rest of Europe, literally over the next few days and couple of weeks. So most people who are here should be able to get one. So why don't we switch over to the device, and we'll get started. There you go. So I'm going to start with one of my favorites. We're introducing a new way to secure your phone with Ice Cream Sandwich using some facial recognition technology that's built right into the platform. We call this feature Face Unlock. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to power down to lock my phone. And then when I power back up, it'll be locked. And all I have to do is look at it, and hopefully it'll remember who I am and unlock the device. So let me try that. And there you go.
Wow.
You want to see it again?
That was fast.
And there you go. It's unlocked.
Does it follow that if it sees your face, it locks itself up?
But maybe. We'll consider that as well as a future request.
No, so it's just an unlock right now.
Face unlock to secure your device. And we'll talk more about facial recognition in just a second. So this is the Ice Cream Sandwich home screen, which I can customize completely any way I want. So let me show you how I've customized it for how I use this device. I'm going to swipe over to the left. So this is what I call my work screen. So I've got my email here up at the top. I've got my calendar at the bottom. These are both scrollable, interactive widgets.
And Eric just emailed you, actually. That's
he did, and I'll get to that in a second. So these are interactive widgets. It means I can keep track of important stuff without actually having to launch an app. Especially important for something like email and calendar, which you do 10, 20, 50 times a day. I've got a folder here with the apps that I use while I'm working. And I've got some of the people that I have to call on a regular basis. So literally with one touch, I can call these people from my phone. I'm going to go over to one more screen to the left. This is my Hangout screen. One of the widgets here is having some issues loading. We may have a wireless problem, but I'll carry on. So what you're seeing here on the top is a stream of my Google Plus folks, people that I'm following. What you would have seen here at the bottom are photos coming in real time from Google+. I also have a folder with my favorite games over here and a link to Latitude. And we're talking about widgets, so I want to go over to what we're doing about widgets in Ice Cream Sandwich. We're making widgets first-class citizens. So if you notice here at the top, we've added a tab alongside your apps just for widgets. So you can see visually all the widgets that you have on your phone straight from this page. And for example, if I want to add one, I can just hold it, go over to the screen where I want to drop it, just let it go. And it's right there. And I can resize it if I want, make it exactly the size that fits the layout that I'm going for. And that's widgets. We're also adding a button, a dedicated button to multitasking in Ice Cream Sandwich. That's the button down here. So if I tap on this, I get a visual preview of what's running on my device. And it's easy to switch by just tapping on any of this. And of course, if I want to get rid of any of these, I can just swipe to toss it out of my way. It's a very satisfying gesture. So that's what we call recents. We've also done a pretty significant overhaul of notifications in Ice Cream Sandwich. So if I pull down my notifications shade here, you'll see that I have visually rich notifications this time around. And I also have interactive widgets in the form of notifications. So for example, I can control my music playback by just tapping on this widget. And I can control without actually having to go into the app. And that same satisfying swipe gesture is what I can use to get rid of notifications that are no longer important. So very fine control. And the incredible thing is I actually haven't left the home screen, and it feels like I've been describing a full-fledged application platform to you already, and I'm still on the home screen. So we've spent a lot of energy making this really great for everyone. Now, I want to talk about social, the second theme that Eric alluded to. We've worked really hard to try to weave people and sharing into the operating system with Ice Cream Sandwich. And it starts with the People app, this app right here. People is the evolution of the Contacts app.
Let's see, we're seeing who you follow. 50 Cent.
So I've got some of my friends listed down here. But what I wanted to spend time on actually is this screen. This is my favorite screen. This is where I put the people that I communicate with on a regular basis. It's presented to you in this beautiful grid with high-resolution photos, and it's awesome. So I'll tap on, Eric, your charming photo right here, and we go into your People card. So the People card is useful in a number of ways. First of all, I can see how I'm connected to Eric. In this case, I'm following him on Google Plus and on Twitter. And what's cool about the People card is that the contact details that you see here are a combination of what I have for Eric in my address book and what he has decided to share with me. So if he updates his phone number, for example, it'll just show up in the People card on my phone, and I can just call him without having to worry about updating it. I can swipe over to the right in the People card, and I'll see an aggregate view of all of his posts, in this case for Google Plus and Twitter. All of this is done via open APIs, so any service can tap into this, in typical Android fashion.
Nice picture.
And I really did post that about 45 minutes ago. So, from yesterday's office opening here in Paris.
Fantastic. Now, here's something really cool. I'm going to go back to the home screen, and I'll go to that email, Loic, that you were referring to earlier from Eric. So here's the email, obviously very important. I could reply to this, but I may want to actually call Eric or text him because this is an important, timely message. So what I'll do is I'm going to tap on his photo, and what I get here is a mini version of that People card that you saw earlier, and that'll appear everywhere in the operating system. So I can immediately pivot over to making a phone call or texting him and so on. And in this case, I actually am going to invite him for a video chat because I want to show you another cool feature in Ice Cream Sandwich. Let's try that.
No, and I think the key argument here is that we've started off thinking that these phones were like computers, and we forgot that phones are really about communication. And so in this version of Android, it's extraordinarily communications and social-centric in a way I've not seen before. In fact, there we go.
So hi there. I actually have your computer here, Eric, so you'll get two of me instead of Eric and me. So I'm going to switch over to the phone. So this is the new Google Talk app in Ice Cream Sandwich, and we're using the same facial recognition technology that you saw earlier to do something really fun. This is called Live Effects, and it's been applied to the image at 60 frames a second. So what would I look like with a bigger nose?
Scared.
Let's try that again. I'll try a bigger mouth. How about that?
Yes.
I'll try another effect.
How about big eyes as well?
And notice how this is being applied to my face, no matter where my face is in the picture. As you can see here, it works.
This is the key reason that you want an Android phone. I can't think of another reason to use an Android phone than to see Hugo squished.
So that was People in Ice Cream Sandwich. Now, we're still talking about social. I want to talk a little bit about photos, taking photos and sharing photos. And to that, I'm going to switch over to the device number 3, please. This is, what you'll see in a second, is an Android tablet that's running Ice Cream Sandwich. I believe this is the first time we're actually showing this. And what I'll do is I'll go back to the lock screen. And in this case, what I'll do is I'll go directly from the lock screen to my camera app. So I'll just launch it with a gesture to drag to the left. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture. But instead of taking a normal picture, what I'll do is I'll take a panorama shot, which is a new type of picture that you can now take with Ice Cream Sandwich. So let's start that. And I have an Android scene over here. So I'll just pan over. So while it's stitching the real deal panorama, it gives me a preview. And in a couple of seconds, I'll get the full high-resolution version of this panorama And then what I'll do with it is I'm going to share it. So I'll just tap over here, and this is the high-resolution version of the panorama. And what I can do from this screen is I can share it. And I can share it with any number of apps, basically any app on my device that is hooked into the open photo sharing API. I've got a number of apps here, so I'll choose to share it with Google+. So it's attached my location, gone ahead, posted it. And what I did here was from the lock screen to fully sharing a panoramic picture in literally just 3 or 4 taps of the screen of the device. So pretty awesome stuff. There's one other sharing feature that I want to talk to you about. In fact, this is my favorite Android feature of all time. It's called Android Beam. Android Beam is some NFC-based technology that we've developed to allow people
and remind everybody what NFC means. Near-field communication. It's a chip that authenticates you.
Thank you, Eric. So if we could go over to the Wolf Vision. There you go. So what I have here is I've got 2 devices. I've got my Galaxy Nexus, and I've got a Nexus S that's running Ice Cream Sandwich as well. And I've got some content over here that I want to send over to this guy. Imagine you're in the bus next to someone and you want to share an article, for example. So what I'll do is I'll touch the 2 devices. You may have heard a beep. And then it's now downloading from the web, but you can already see they got the URL. And there you go.
Cool.
So the Kardashians can spread through yet another mechanism.
And out of the box, Android Beam works with the web browser. As you can see, it'll work with Google Maps. It'll work with YouTube and any other number of apps. I'll actually show you a Maps one real quick. This is one of my favorite places here in Paris. Eric, let's say I want to share this place with you so you know where it is and how to get there. And just so you can see the full effect, I'll just turn this guy down for a second. I'll tap it. And it opens Map on this device, and it's now loading it. And there it is.
Perfect.
And the cool thing about Android Beam is that it comes with some really powerful open APIs. So in a matter of weeks, we'll start seeing a number of apps using this for sharing photos, for starting social games. Imagine being able to play a game with someone who's right next to you by literally tapping the 2 devices and so on. And in fact, what we've done is we've allowed every app to respond to an NFC share intent by doing the following. I'll just open one of my favorite games here. That's Fruit Ninja. So it's running on this device, but it's actually not on this device. I don't have it over on this device. So what I'll do is I'll tap. And because I don't have the game running on this device, oh, sorry, I didn't actually transfer. Oh, I did. There you go. So it took me to Android Market, so I can download it and obviously then be able to play it. So Android Beam is the beginning of what we think a really exciting ecosystem sort of developer API that people are going to use in some hopefully very imaginative ways. So that was mobile and social. I'll give you a quick preview of local, something that I think will spur really interesting conversation.
Hugo is just stealing the show entirely.
So let's go back to the device number 3, please. And what I'll do here, just for a quick second, I'm going to go into Google Maps. And I'm going to, so I'm in Minneapolis here, and Minneapolis is home to the Mall of the Americas, which some of you may know is.
I was actually just there last week. And
really?
What's interesting about the GPS, remember, is it's only a signal that you can get externally because it's satellite-based.
And so, as you can imagine, it's a gigantic mall. And what we just launched a couple of weeks ago is a new category of products by adding indoor location positioning into Google Maps. So if I zoom in further, you see that now I see a full map of the inside of the mall. And I can even look at different floors of the mall. And we've developed technology that uses Wi-Fi positioning so that we actually know exactly where the user is and exactly on which floor that user is, of course, assuming that you've decided to use my location. And search works in here, direction works in here, so you can search for a store.
So if you're basically lost in the largest mall in America, you can find your way out.
Exactly. So I thought this would be a good conversation starter, and I'll leave you guys with that.
Thank you, Hugo.
So,
thank you.
So thank you.